It's 80,000 per 40 jobs from 2016 to 2020. That's 4 million for 40 jobs. 80,000 per $1,200 job. Paid from the top percentage. But Britney's owed the million a year as a real model when she taught #1 in the world supermodels who were scouted by Bruce Weber in order to get nude on a horse and become a slave trade brand. 7 years into her working as a real model. Then they were replaced by 40 referral-based nudes in order to be gang raped to have people gang raped by the club along with school bloggers who became workers in healthcare, prostitutes and slave trade brands in healthcare. So they got replaced by slave trade brands for every profession you can think of and for minimum wage slave trade managers at the club. If you are looking at this right now, please pay a direct deposit and pray you can get it to her. Your biggest fear would be you didn't pay or you didn't pay enough and then you can't anymore. They could have the $400,000, the low rent for $20,000 a year for 40 years. But also the money to do it. The car and the 5 for 15 and the car insurance for 5 and the 25 for gas. Britney earned the most amount of A-list top percentage theatrical jobs because of her dad paying for 4 years of acting classes from 2006 to 2011. And so that made it so that she could be the one person to book the A-list jobs out of LA for as long as they were able to book model talent jobs out of LA and New York. But then it's replaced by party promoting, prostitution, and slave trade with stable jobs to be picked up by Playboy and to drug, rape, kidnap, lock up the innocent as stable jobs. So it's really important that they're paid and protected because people follow them around as tow truck drivers, trying to make a business out of selling their car and body when they're not paid. Britney has the highest security and the highest military protecting her. But she outlived human trafficking victims who were not welcome at their parents' house, and they worked for a mental asylum as a Satan worshiper to have them injured and human trafficked and tortured and become a test subject, like those shows Botched, with Botox injections. So they're human trafficking victims otherwise, because they would have a restraining order from all healthcare and just their private practice anti-slave trade young doctors. Everyone's a small business underneath them, but they require an investor. She's the entertainment investor referral for her 20-year supermodels who are LA-based, New York-based, and based out of other states and countries. So models she worked with who were based out of New York had guys from the club paying the whole time because their families don't pay them. Every client broke the law. They were baby boomers and their parents, and it's fascist. They had to believe that they'd be paid 5 times more than everyone in their household who would have the 10 and who could have a small business from home in order to raise the 15 in charities without party promoting, prostitution, or idolatry. It was idolatry underneath every charity who never paid them in 20 years, who paid all stable jobs, but who never paid them. So it's partying at these packed restaurants where they're laid and they get raped in order to be someone who's gang raped to have people gang raped in order to work as an employee. So they're slave trade brand employees at retail businesses for slave trade brands their age, and there's no revenue. So it's cannibalism. And satanic worship on the beaches. Everywhere. It's international. Since 2007. And they're never compared to less than an agency rate. They are the true anti-slave trade top percentage that first 5 years and 7 years. And after 12 years, they can't sit or stand, and it hurts their hands. They rely upon an agent for a direct booking until it's replaced by a brothel. So it's really rare to be like Britney, even to do 2007 to 2012 with print commercials, theatrical runway, and in-store blogging, to book the jobs out of 140,000 people being the only one to book it. Because it's not a roster of the talent. It's a roster of slave trade employees since the year 2007 out of every city in suburbia. So the 20-year slave trade brand agents work for them. And they're the referral for influencers like Ryan Seacrest or celebrities like Shane West or reality stars from Laguna Beach. Paid and protected according to federal law.